program is beginning. Works at a time. It's been, how long has it been? Okay, all right, perfect. Okay, good evening. Hi, how is everybody? Well, you're going to be doing a lot better after you leave here tonight, so I hope you all are doing very well. My name is Sabrina Adsit, and I am the sponsor liaison and logistics coordinator for the Prize family. I've been with the Louisiana Film Prize for the past 4 years. Obviously, last year was our first year for the Louisiana Startup Prize. And to be honest, we had no idea whenever we started planning that event that we would be back here in front of you getting ready to kick off another year of the Louisiana Startup Prize. Yeah! So for that, we are really excited. We, of course, have nobody else to thank besides our incredible community in the city of Shreveport-Bossier, who really rallied behind us and always rally behind us anytime we go to them with a new idea. So we're incredibly thankful for them, as well as our very trusting sponsors and investors who invested and took a chance on us in our first year. We are so thankful for you guys. Also our entrepreneurs who came to each qualifying event and really they're just so eager to learn everything that we were going to teach them. So that was great, and it really is a testament to show how hungry entrepreneurs are locally and nationally to learn and succeed. So yeah. The Startup Prize really does present an opportunity for Northwest Louisiana to attract and nurture creative and innovative talent, the type of talent this community wants. So before we get into details about the qualifying events, I wanted to talk real quick about the role of partnerships within the Startup Prize. For those of you who are familiar with sponsoring events, you may have run into the type of sponsorships that are, give us your money and we'll put your logo here type of thing. That's not how it works with the Startup Prize. With the Startup Prize, it's an impact investment. You're investing in the future health and the economic growth of this community. Yeah, so, and we love that. So, if you want to be a part of the Startup Prize, if you're a lawyer, if you're a marketing guru, if you are an accountant, I want to talk to you. Come and find me after this, because there's so many opportunities for us to get you involved with all the events that we have going on this year, and you want to be a part of it too. So come and find me. We're starting our planning for Q1, that's starting in March. Emily will get into those dates, but I want to get you involved in that as early as we can. So let's not waste any more time and come and find me. I'll give you a card and we'll take you out to lunch. So I am done, and I am going to introduce Emily Smith.
Hi, as Sabrina said, I'm Emily Smith. I am the Entrepreneur Liaison for Louisiana Startup Prize, and I just need to take a second to tell everybody how excited I am to be here. Last year was my first year with the Prize family, and I'm so thrilled to be back and seeing so many familiar faces, and seeing all of those connections and friendships that were made last year being rekindled just makes me even more excited for the next year, and seeing new faces coming into our family as well is thrilling. And I wish that we could start our qualifying event tomorrow, but there's absolutely no way in the world that we could make that happen because with all the improvements and the growth that's going on for next year, I still find myself in our back conference room, tacking up Post-it notes and rearranging curriculum constantly. So if any of you are a startup that's developing an app to help me schedule the Startup Prize, please let me know, because I'd really appreciate it. But despite the startup notes, we are enhancing a lot of our features for next year. We're growing and expanding. One of our most exciting announcements is that we're taking it from 2 qualifying events like we had last year to 3 qualifying events next year. The 2 of those are going to be located in Shreveport and 1 in Bossier, so tell your friends across the river that we're coming for them, whether they like them or not, and whether they like us or not. And this year's also going to be better because we took a lot of your feedback into consideration. We spent the entire off-season, as you may call it, gathering feedback from our mentors and from last year's entrepreneurs about how we can make Startup Prize even better. So we're introducing a new feature called the Entrepreneur Portal. If you applied last year, you're familiar with the iStart application where you got to upload your business plan. But we're making it even better by bringing it all in-house underneath the LAStartupPrize.com website, and we're creating our very own portal to help entrepreneurs get the best experience from the Startup Prize and also help our judges with that process. So in the Entrepreneur Portal, you'll be able to log in as many times as you'd like and edit your business plan. We'll be asking you questions from who are the members of your teams, what are their credentials, up to who's your market, what are your financials projected for your first year, your third year, your fifth year. We're going to be asking those questions, but don't worry because we're also going to be preparing you throughout those qualifying events to answer those questions appropriately. So now I want everybody to take out your phones, calendars, planners, pen, pencil, slate, chisel, whatever it takes. I'm not here to judge. Because I'm about to give you the next 3 dates for our qualifying events. The first one is going to be March 6th through the 8th, held in Shreveport in the Red River District at Cohab and the old MacArthur space, just like our qualifying events last year. The second one, location to be announced, is in April. That's the 17th through the 19th. And then our third qualifying event is going to be held in Bossier at the Bossier Arts Council. That is May 29th through the 31st. So now I want you to pass the slate or the phone to your neighbor and have them proofread this for you because those dates are March 6th through the 8th, April 17th through the 19th, and May 29th through the 31st. And we want to see everybody here at those qualifying events. Please remember that you must attend one qualifying event to be eligible for the final judging process, but we'd love for you to attend 2 or even all 3 of those events because the more you attend, the more you're going to learn. You get more help with your entrepreneur portal and those business plans, and our secret investor judges are all around you, so those are more judges that you'll get to meet at each of those qualifying events. Next, another new rule. Sorry, I'm just getting too excited. I'm getting ahead of myself. So this year, you can bring as many team members as you would like to the Louisiana Startup Prize. Last year, we limited it to 2. So this year, we're going to have a different structure. It's going to be $50 per person per event. So you're welcome to bring the entire organization if you'd like, but at least one member of your company must attend to be eligible for these events. So tonight, after you head home, before you go to bed, or before you go out and party, because party starts here, right? You'll be able to register and reserve your space at all 3 of our qualifying events. And that's what I want you to do because the sooner you register, the better we can prepare to help your business. We are gathering our mentors and experts together, but we need to know what you need and how many of you are going to be there so we can better prepare for you. Also, our Entrepreneur Portal will be opening on March 6th. That's the first day of Qualifier 1. So prepare for that as well. That's when we're going to be launching the Entrepreneur Portal. And next, I'm really excited to announce a special guest that we have for you this evening. The whole team has really had the pleasure of getting to know this guy and see his startup business grow through the Startup Prize program into a really successful business. And that is last year's winner from Alchemy Geopolymer Solutions, Carlos Montes. Old time's sake, we've got a fun little game to play with Carlos. If you weren't at the Startup Prize Coliseum last year, you really missed out because our final 5 got to pitch their idea, but there's a small twist. You had to draw 3 words from a jar and include them in your pitch. So, yeah. We're going to make it a little bit easier for Carlos this year. He only has to draw 1 word to include in his speech for you tonight. Yes. You want to know? Oh, 2? Okay. I'll take 1. And the special word that Carlos must use tonight is kitten. Oh. Did you have to use that last year? I had no idea.
That's so weird.
I've had 6 months to think about how to use that one.
Okay, we're going to see it.
Okay. Hello everybody. Thank you so much for the invitation. I'm so excited to be here. As Emily said, I'm Carlos Montes. I'm from Alchemy Geopolymer Solutions. I'm originally from Chihuahua, Mexico. You all heard about the dog, Chihuahua. So I want to tell you a little bit about our story. It all started a few years ago when me and one of my partners in the company, Resolution, met at the conference in Washington, D.C. And we were the only 2 people talking about producing concrete without cement. back then it was absolutely crazy. You will tell anybody, they will tell you it's impossible, you're never gonna do it. So we talked about it, and then later on I decided to quit my job in Chihuahua, and he invited me to come over to Ruston, to Louisiana Tech for a PhD, which honestly I thought it was a lot closer to New Orleans. And that's what I accepted, but anyway, I thought it was so close. But anyway, it's been, we started in 2006 with nothing, with a very small lab, which was really like 3 foot by 20 foot long. That's all we had. We didn't have any mixers, we didn't have any equipment. We just had an idea. And it was a lot of knocking doors, a lot of talking to people, and it took a long time for people to start listening. I would say it took 4 or 5 years, and I'm sorry, back in 2006, it just wasn't the time. It's just the industry was not ready for this product. And so we had to wait 4 or 5 years for it to catch on. And then we had several demo projects with American Electric Power, with NASA, which really helped us out, marketing our product, of course. And I think the whole idea about the company started at NASA, actually, because we went there once, and I'm a professor, I'm a scientist at the university, so I'm used to be at the lab, for a long time. And so the last question they had when we did that visit at NASA was, how do we buy it? How do we buy it? It's like, does it come in bags? Does it come? How does it come? So after that, we started thinking, well, we really should sell this stuff. Now this NASA is asking for it. So it's really probably the time to start thinking about making a company with our product. So it took us a few more months to finalize our formulas, and then we were invited to. It was a suggestion from Kathy Wyatt, so we had to thank Kathy for the support. And she said, why don't you guys, go for the starter prize competition? We think you got a very solid proposal, you got a very solid business idea, and so we went for it. And I gotta tell you, for everybody who's willing to participate, it was scary in the beginning, at least for me. Because I felt so unfamiliar with it. I was not an entrepreneur until I arrived to the startup prize, and it took me a few months to find out how to do it, to feel comfortable with it. It was a great learning experience, and it helped me grow so much, and of course it benefited the company tremendously. Like the exposure we got after we won the startup prize, it's unbelievable. You wouldn't believe it. We got phone calls from all over the world. We got now 4 contracts signed with companies in the US. We got conversations with companies we got 1 more in China. We got conversations with companies in South America, in Europe, in Africa. It's just I just want you to know that it's all possible if you really believe in your idea and you really are committed to work hard to get it. Success is the only thing that awaits you. So, congratulations to all the new contestants. Well, actually, yeah. Last time I got 3 awards, and I think I was successful with 2 of them. But just I forgot Keaton. And the one thing I forgot to say is that we can make Keaton leader with our product. It was the easiest answer.
Okay, and the next person that we'd like to bring up is the evil genius that created this all, and the person who puts us to work every day, but I'm so thrilled to be a part of it, the creator of Louisiana Startup Prize, Gregory Kallenberg.
That was awesome. As you all know, when the glasses go on, you know the shit's about to get real. There are 4 words that are the most dangerous words in the human language when it comes to words that are uttered in the prize family office. And that's when I say, I have an idea. And that's really where the Startup Prize started. It was kind of a crazy, whimsical idea that we threw out at a meeting. And to see what it's become is pretty astounding. For anybody who knows us, we don't really put out things that are half-baked or do things without thinking through them. So we took about a year to really gesticulate and think about what the Startup Prize could be. All that said, we had no idea what the Startup Prize could be. Granted, there was a lot of hard work, there was a lot of luck, but I got to tell you, at the end of the day, what you guys were able to produce and what the community was able to produce was astounding. But above and beyond everybody else, it's the team that I get to work with every day that was able to help us do what we do. So I'm just going to just kind of go over the names real quick, and then I want you to give them a big, huge round of applause. It's Emily Smith, Chris Lyon, Sabrina Adsit. We just added a lady, unfortunately, Julie Gustafson, who just joined the team. She has the flu, so we actually have guards out there that if she tries to come in here, we will tackle her and make her go back home. And then, where's Rachel? Is Rachel around here? And then this is Rachel's first day, by the way, guys. It's a baptism of fire with the Startup Prize. So give these guys a really big hand because they do beautiful work. So when you look at what the Startup Prize is, or was rather, it was something that we, again, kind of concepted out in the office, and we're big on internal projections, and we thought that we would get maybe 30 to 35 startups involved, and we looked to service about 60 to 65 people. To me, I don't care if there are 10 people in the audience, if they're there to learn, and they're there to focus on getting better, evolve themselves, and to become a better business and connect with our investors, then those are the people I want in the room. But that's not what happened. At the first qualifying event, we had about 35 startups, which was a good number for us. Emily's head didn't explode too much. But it was the second qualifying event that we really saw what has kind of brought you all here today. In the second qualifying event, we saw 91 startups sign up. We saw 150 entrepreneurs go through this program and not only get better, but they got seen by investors. They got to connect with the accountants, the lawyers, the marketing people, the business gurus of this community. And I'm telling you, if you haven't done the Startup Prize before, it will change you. It will transform you. It will transform everything that you're trying to do. And it's going to turn you into somebody who is going to be better prepared to be a part of the entrepreneurial community. So I'm strongly urging, of course, all of you all to be a part of this because, again, this isn't just us. This is that community of people out there like those investors, those accountants, those lawyers who are there to help you. And for somebody who actually pays lawyer bills, 20 minutes with the lawyers we use, you've already paid for your entry fee about 4 times over. And that's not even including the awesome sandwiches we get into. So the other thing I just wanted to say is we kind of moved through it. We also brought on a nationally represented investor group that has been constantly checking back in and working with our final entrepreneurs. It was amazing, but we're only getting started, right? I mean, last year, the joke is, and I was telling Ron and Grant as we were talking before, last year at the announcement of the Startup Prize, I mean, it was literally me, Chris, Sabrina, and Emily, and 10 other people, and 3 of those people were in my family. So really, to me, to see all of you guys here and to have you all be a part of this is absolutely incredible. I do want to quickly go over our sponsor list. It is incredibly important to us that you know who is representing us and who is funding us, because by funding us, they're funding you. So these are the people that not only are putting money into what we do, but they're taking it beyond that, right? These are people who are investing in you guys as an entrepreneurial community and want you to get better. So please listen to these people. Hold your applause to the end because there's a great list this year. Last year, I think it started with my mom and ended with my wife. But again, this list is a fantastic list, and these are people that have already come on to the Startup Prize and are greatly appreciated. I want to start with our presenting sponsor this year, which is the Biomedical Research Foundation's Entrepreneurial Acceleration Program. That's Dave Smith, John George, Jay Myers, and Ron Odenchek, which is Ron still here? Yep. Awesome, cool. The Anderson family, the Atkins Crawford's family. We didn't talk about it, but Rhino Coffee is a sponsor of us, but they've also brought this amazing event here tonight, and I cannot tell you how much I appreciate being in a local business, a local entrepreneur who's knocked it out of the park just like you will. The Bossier Economic Development Fund, that's Rocky Rocket. The Business First Bank, that's Jason Siegel and Philip Jordan. Caddo Management. City of Shreveport, that's Mayor Tyler. Are there any city council members in the audience? Are you a city council member? Honorary city council member, really?
Oh, Rotary.
Oh, Rotary. Well, you can waive for the city council members. I don't know if you understood the question, but yes, the city has been a huge supporter of us, and the Rotary's awesome too. Cohab, that's John Gridley, Jessica Shield, and Susan Curtin. John's here. Or Susan or Jessica here? The Community Foundation, that's the Fallbaum Family Advised Fund. The Downtown Development Authority, that's Liz Swain. Herd Macquarie and Vestal, they're the ones who are going to be providing the $10,000 in services. That's Robert Dean, Walker Coburn, and Justin Riku. Also, the Heidi Kallenberg Foundation for a Brighter Tomorrow, when her husband stops spending her future money and makes the startup prize go away. That's another foundation that is a huge supporter of us. Did you guys write that? Anyway. All right, so Kent Tingle, that's Fred and Melinda Kent. The North Louisiana Economic Partnership, Scott Martinez, Angie White, Ashley Busada. Phillips Investment, that's Freddie and Colin Phillips. Schlosser Development, that's Brad and Kimberly. That's actually my sister. She's watching from Colorado, so let me wave to her real quick. Hey, Kimberly, thank you. Did you know you're a sponsor? Okay. The invoice is in your email box.
That's a family and friend.
Exactly. The Shreveport Times and Gannett, that's Alan English, Julie Nix, Richard Rose, and Michelle Marcotte. American Tower, that's Ashley Hosey. Is Ashley still here? American Tower are the ones who put up the 12 months of free rent to our winning entrepreneur. Town Square Media, Williams Creative Group, that's Judy Williams and Francesca Benton. Wiener Weiss and Madison, that's Don Wiener, who is going to help us sort of fund the legal services. I do want to say that that our NLEP friends are actually having their annual dinner tonight, so we wish them the best of luck. I know that Scott Martinez he's TiVoed this, so I just want to make sure that we are wishing you the best of luck tonight. So that is our sponsors. Please give me a huge hand if you could. I also wanted to bring up two very special guests tonight. As Emily said, we have stacked it to the gills this year. I mean, you got to think we're only in our second year of this thing. And because of the traction that we've seen and because of the recognition that we've seen nationally, we have felt that we had to really up our game and create an entity that, as we walk this road, becomes a juggernaut in the entrepreneurial competition world. The first person I want to bring up, you guys all know, but as a means of introduction, is that last year, as our final entrepreneurs sort of made it through the system, they really needed more care and feeding. And as much as Emily and I tried to do that, we probably didn't do as good a job as we could. So as a result, this year we're adding the Startup Prize Accelerate. The Startup Prize Accelerate will be an acceleration program, and it's going to be run through Cohab. I cannot tell you how lucky you all are to have a person like John Grimley, who is tireless in the way that he takes care of his entrepreneurs. And again, I'm honored to have him as a friend and up here with us. I'm going to let John say a few words about the Startup Prize Accelerate program.
Well, I'm honored to be amongst all my friends. I get to see all these people every day, so this is awesome. So it kind of struck me, Gregory kind of plugged this last night as we were planning this, to plug the dates for the first qualifying event, which March 6th through the 8th at Cohab. But what stuck in my mind about that, interestingly enough, was I was going, why does that date sound familiar to me, March 6th? Well, 5 years ago on that date, we opened Cohab. We opened our first location at 610 Commerce. So it just kind of was serendipitous that we did that. And it was just awesome to see where this has taken from 1 year, from 5 years. And it's just great to see how much our local entrepreneurs and the ecosystem has grown since 2010. I'm sitting there looking at Keith Hansen as one of our first persons in our space. But we just opened this cool thing thinking, just like Gregory, it's like, what if we just provided a space and had a place where entrepreneurs could gather and help grow their businesses amongst like minds? And what if that benefited our community? What if that benefited our local economy? And over those 5 years, we've seen some amazing strides and growth, and we've seen dozens of entrepreneurs graduate out of our space, and we've covered some amazing ground and blazed through a lot of coffee grounds like Rhino Coffee. And so it's kind of cool, again, like Gregory said, this is an amazing place, Rhino Coffee. It feels like you're in Aspen or something like that. But what's cool about it is he's one of our grads. And he went from tasting little different roasts that he had on an IKEA table, going, guys, what do you think of this? Put your vote in for this roast, because it might be my coffee blend that we use in my space. And so I remember Andrew putting this together, and it was cool to see him working in our space, and he was working nights putting together IT stuff for Moonbot and kind of building their IT infrastructure, but he was working on this little project, Rhino Coffee, and he was getting harassed by the Metropolitan Planning Commission too, so he's the first, not the little library. So that's kind of cool. And anyway, but what was cool about it was, it was a cool idea, and what's really neat about this, look at, there's like 100 people in here. We're like 500 yards from a Starbucks, and he's very successful. So it just goes to show, sometimes people think it's a crazy idea, and like Steve Jobs said, support the crazy ideas, and the crazy ones are the ones that will get somewhere. And so, and then what's cool too, and this is what I really wanted to get to, was the cool vibes are, he's opening a second location, and he's opening that downtown. He's opening that with another Cohab graduate. iArchitecture helped him design that. So when collaboration starts to happen, that's what this is all about, the Startup Prize and this whole entrepreneur ecosystem. It's where one entrepreneur at a time, working alongside another entrepreneur, teaches them. They get mentorship, guidance along the way, and that success fuels their startup, and that fuels another startup. And I look at the room, and I'm watching all these bright lights just start to pop up, because you're that spark that's going to light that next startup. And so our entrepreneurial community has grown, and we've graduated over 22 startups and seen some amazing growth, and over $20 million in growth in hires and projects born out of Cohab, based on this belief of collaboration and coordination, and just getting people in a room and start talking about your ideas. And so we've gone from waxing philosophical in our desks about how could we build a startup community, and here we are 5 years later, we have one. You guys are a part of it, and this is what's amazing about it. So I actually, like Gregory does, give yourself a round of applause for taking something from nothing to something. And you know what's cool, and this is what's so cool about this being the coolest entrepreneurial program on the planet, is you've gotten out of the door, and you've proven in Shreveport-Bossier that North Louisiana can compete. And we have a place at the table now to be amongst the best and brightest of startup communities. So that's pretty awesome. And so what I love is just the synergistic vibe of where this is going with Startup Prize and EAP, and it's amazing to see like the Million Cups. It really started last year. You saw people going through our Million Cups program, and then they would sign up for the Startup Prize, and then they would come back, and they're in our accelerator, and then they come back for round 2 of Startup Prize. So I see a lot of you guys that have been through the cycle once, and you're coming back again, and that's the whole gist of this. If you didn't get it right the first time, learn a little bit more. And so it's really cool to see this cycle, and there's no wrong way to get on the bike and ride. I've seen some people come from universities. I see Nick come through Million Cups. I see all these different faces, and that's what's so great about that. And I think what's cool about this is Gregory's got really the beginning stages. EAP is kind of the finishing stages, and Cohab sits kind of somewhere in the middle. And we're proud to launch our accelerator this year, and I think it's going to get bigger and brighter next year with all the support in this room and the Startup Prize. We've got 6 startups that are really going through a program, and that's what Gregory was really hitting on, is that full cycle and really making it a fluid thing. And these 6 companies are gaining traction, customers, and validation, so they can take what they learned at the Startup Prize and take it to that next level all year long. So we can't wait to see where things are headed in 2015. It's so great to be working with the Startup Prize, BRF, and EAP, and Ron and Dave, and working hand in hand to accomplish the goal of creating real entrepreneurs in a real ecosystem. And I look at, maybe to make another analogy, and I'll wrap up here. Startup Prize is kind of the fertile ground to plant your seeds and telling the world. And then our area is to help water those seedlings of good ideas and cultivate them through the drought periods. And there's a lot of droughts with startups. You kind of ride highs and lows, and then bring them to fruition and help give them the nutrients to bring them to the harvest, and hopefully get funded through BRF's program. So at least that's the dream scenario in my mind. So I'll leave you with the question. Bill Bigler, who is one of the mentors and one of our mentors in our space, he's awesome, and he says, when's the best time to plant an oak tree? Anybody got any ideas? Planting an oak tree? Yeah, 10, 50 years ago, exactly. So we have to strike while the iron is hot. We have these crazy incentives. We have these awesome programs. And business, cost of living and doing business here is awesome. So we have to make these startups bankable, get investment to make them reality. And I'm just glad to see the pieces kind of coming together. And I don't know if you do this officially with the Startup Prize, but I just say Viva la Startup Prize.
Fertile territory and trees, and I had no idea so much horticulture would be in huge. I want to bring up another special guest representing a special partner of ours, our presenting partner this year. The Entrepreneurial Acceleration Program that has been established here is again an amazing gift to this city. There aren't a lot of cities that are doing what Ron and Dave and John George and Jay Myers are doing. And it's astounding to have them on board the Startup Prize. And I'm sure Dave might talk a little about this, but for what we're getting out of this, and ultimately what you'll get out of this, is a galvanizing of your process, a helping and assistance that will take you through to a point where you become an investable commodity. To us, we're not about the charity of this thing. We are here to build a viable entrepreneurial community. And we want it to kick ass, and we want it to thrive, and we want it to grow, and we want it to be second to none. The way you do that is you partner with people like John, but you also make sure you get to sit down with people like Dave Smith. So everyone give him a huge hand. This is Dave Smith.
Thanks, Gregory. On behalf of the Biomedical Research Foundation, the Entrepreneurial Acceleration Program, the Digital Media Institute, which will be part of us in this endeavor, and all of our business units at Biomed, it's really exciting to be a sponsor, in the Startup Prize. It gets bigger every year. It gets better every year, and the EAP thinks we can help bring something to that and make you investable. But we talked a lot about community. And one of the things that we at the Biomed Research Foundation are looking at is, we talked about a lot of communities. We talked about Austin, we talked about San Francisco. Anton and I were talking about DC today and everything that happens in DC and on the entrepreneurial side. They all do three things really well. One is they recruit. They recruit companies. They recruit talent. Then they support. They support the businesses that are there. Their legislation and legislators, they do a lot of things for those businesses to keep them in business. And then the last, and for us the most important part, is they grow businesses. They start here. And we have to build that ecosystem. Well, we don't have to build. We're already here. We've got all the pieces. We're up and running. And the Startup Prize is a key element to that. It started all this. And what we want to do in EAP is bring those sophisticated tools, bring Ron Ondachek into you so you can see. He's forgotten more about a cap table than I'll ever know. All right? He can do that. And we also got Kylie back there. We brought him in from Dallas via Bossier City, okay, to work in EAP so that, hey, he can do things with an Excel spreadsheet I didn't even know could happen. But that's pretty easy. And then we've got Ty and we've got Anton. So we've got a big team, that is here for you to help you get to where you want to go, because it's all about you. You're what we're here for, because you're the basic element of our success. What we want is a Dell, a Google, one of those. And from that, we just take off from there. It's a simple model, and you're the key element. So thanks, we're proud to be here.
Okay, so if I could get everybody on Team Startup Prize to the stage. Also, Ron, would you mind coming up? Maybe Kylie, would you mind coming up? You're a drinker, I hope. We do have a tradition in the Prize family that we celebrate with the juice of the agave. And roll that around in your head a little bit. There you go. All right, everybody get one? But nobody drink yet. Everybody drink it. All right. So. Okay, so I want to just remind you, March 6th through 8th, registration is open right now, right? Here, he just hit the button. Chris just hit the button. Okay, here's what you'll be playing for. Are you ready? $25,000 cash, $10,000 in services from Williams Creative Group, $10,000 in accounting services from Hurd, McElroy, and Vestal, $5,000 in legal services, 1 year of free rent in American Tower, that's a $20,000 value, overall $70,000 in prizes. But that's a small prize. Anybody who's been with me in a qualifying events knows that I say that it's a small prize. The big prize is that the connections that you will make, the people that you will meet, and ultimately, when you win it, because raise your hand if you're going to win it, raise your hand if you're going to win it, there you go. Okay, well, I guess not all of you will win it, but when those who have their hands up win it, right, you're going to have access to some of the best, most well-heeled, well-educated investors and investor networks in all of Northwest Louisiana. So, with that said, when I ring this bell, we're going to start. But I first want you to raise your hand above your head and go, woo! Let me hear it! No, keep it going. Ladies and gentlemen, the Louisiana Startup Prize 2015 is on! You guys stay, network, meet each other, form teams, and get signed up for the Louisiana Startup Prize. Thank you so much.